Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back, I'm not going anywhere. Peace! Peekaboo, I see you because... Oh, damn it, Janet. Oh my God, first it hit my eye a couple videos ago, then I have to get rid of these fans, oh my God. My job is dangerous. I got a dangerous job. Y'all don't know. You think it's so easy to just get on a video and flip a fan? Oh, you have it so easy. Literally, okay? I'm going to have to file for workers' comp, and I'm going to have to file it for myself, okay? To myself. Because I'm like hurting myself left and right trying to flip these damn fans. Ouch. See if I can still, I'm okay. I can still do it. I can still do it. Anyway, I'm back. Y'all know I'm back. I'm not going anywhere, okay? Because I'm... YouTube famous now. Na, 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 na. The album, the Christmas album. Available Christmas 2046. The album, Dad. This intro. Shimmy, shimmy. F. It's a little vibrato there for you. Yeah. Oh. Me, 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 me. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. Peace. How are you guys doing today? Okay. This is my fourth attempt to make this video. Okay, my fourth attempt. I sat down here. I was all ready to make this video. And then Amazon truck pulled in. The Amazon truck pulled in, and she brought me my gift that I ordered for myself on the Amazon. It's a chain. It's a metal chain. But anyway, she was so sweet. So I sat here and I talked to her for just a little bit. Then I started filming it again, and I got past the intro, and the FedEx truck pulled up. Okay, I'm not lying to you guys. Okay, the FedEx truck pulled up, and this guy was so nice. And he came up here, and I like got off and like, because I always try to like meet him halfway, you know. And he was like, "Are you filming a podcast?" And I was like, "No, I make YouTube videos and stuff like that." And so I was like, "Do I need to sign anything?" He was like, "No." He was like, "But I got to take a picture of it." And I was like, "Okay." So I held up the box like this, and he's like, "Do you want to be in the picture?" I go, "I don't care." I go, "Why?" And he goes, "Because some people try to get like real, you know, fancy and funny with it and stuff like that." And I go, "Oh, they do?" I go, he goes, "Do you care if your face is in the picture?" I go, "No, not at all." And I was like, you know, to both of them, I was like, "Thank you for your service. Hope you get some time off." Blah blah blah. Because these delivery people work their butts off at Christmas. They truly do, you know. So then I sit down and I get like past my intro, okay? And then I see my neighbor walking across the street. She is so sweet, you guys. I love my neighbor so much. This is my neighbor with the garden, for those of you that watch my garden tour videos of my neighbor, right? And so she brought me this little Christmas present. Wasn't that so sweet? See, it even has a Christmas card in here that says for Peter and Alex on it. And then she was like, okay, she's telling me about each homemade cookies, okay? So she's telling me about all these cookies. Peppermint, chocolate, truffle cookies. She said these are all new recipes. She loves to cook. She's a fantastic cook, okay? And then she brought me red hot cookies, okay? And then she brought me, I was telling her that my mom was a great, like, my mom she could cook, but she couldn't bake, right? And my mom would always say, "I like the burnt ones." I'd be like, "Mother, nobody likes the burnt ones. You just say that because you burn every cookie." And then she brought me peanut butter bites, which peanut butter is like my favorite cookie in the entire world. And then she brought me these mocha pecan cookies. And so, so then I was like, "Oh, thank you so much. You're so sweet." We were talking, and I was like, "I love you guys so much as neighbors. You're so sweet to me," and stuff like that. And she goes, "Well, we love you." And she was like, "And you're so sweet, always checking on us." And she was like, "And you provide great entertainment," always talking about, no lie, she said this. "And you always provide such great entertainment while I'm gardening," talking about Coleen Ballinger and James Charles. My neighbor across the street, okay, who's almost 80, knows Coleen Ballinger and James Charles. And if you're new here, I know it's not Coleen Ballinger, okay? So, like, that means you're new over to my video. But I don't know why you'd be new watching a Q&A, okay? But anyway, so then I sit down and I, like, get back into my video, and I see her come back out the door with this bag. And she's like, "I forgot these cookies." She's so sweet, isn't she? And she's like, "These are my favorites, and they're the rosemary butter cookies." So I have all those. She goes, "Now don't you be eating all of those." She goes, "I know you like the cookies." She goes, "Save some for Alex." I was like, "Oh, not that my neighbor just called me out and everything." So anyway, I have done this video 4 times now. I don't even know what I've talked about in this video so far, just in my intro, right? Okay, so in case I repeat myself, if I repeat myself, I deeply apologize to the Depends community. Now, I deeply apologize if I've if I have repeated myself, but after doing this video 4 times now, I'm like, I'm probably gonna repeat something. So I'm really tired today, okay? I'm exhausted because my friends got me hooked on Vanderpump Rules. My friends Nikki and Mel, okay? And I'm trying to watch all the seasons and get caught up before January 30th when the new season of Vanderpump Rules starts. Now, this is not a show that I thought that I would like, okay? My husband has watched it from the very beginning, the inception of Vanderpump Rules, and I never thought that I would really be that down with this show. I mean, I knew the characters and stuff like that, but I didn't know the storylines. I would just watch it here and there when he had it on and I was doing something in the background, right? And so I start watching this. You guys, I have not been so obsessed with a TV show in a very long time, okay? It is really hard to watch a show and not become obsessed with it. So last night, I'm watching it, and I'm like, okay, you know you have 42 videos to film tomorrow, okay? I have, like, trying to pre-film videos for Christmas, trying to pre-film videos for Christmas Eve, trying to film all my videos for today, and I'm trying to go out to the thing tonight with, my 2 brother-in-laws and their wives and Alex. And so I'm like, I gotta get all this stuff done, okay? I got lots to do. And it is 3:30 right now, right? Because this attempt at making this video has now gone on for 45 minutes. Oh, plus in between, I'm trying to do all these cameos because I got all these Christmas requests for cameos, so I'm trying to get all those done and stuff like that too, right? So, anyway, last night, we went out to dinner with another couple that we're really good friends with. It was supposed to be three couples, but one of the couples, their son got sick, so they couldn't come. So it was just another couple. We went to one of our favorite restaurants that I hadn't actually been to since last Christmas when we went with our friends Melissa and Jason. So Alex and I walk in, okay, to this place last night. And there's like 3 hostesses at the counter, and as soon as we walk in, this woman, she's like, she looks so pretty in her green dress and stuff like that, and she was like, hi Peter, Monn, hi Alex, and I'm like, do I know this woman? And I was like, hi, how are you? And she's like, do you remember me? And I was like, no. And she's like, it's Amber. And I go, oh, Amber, girl, I haven't seen you. No, I didn't say that. I was like, okay. And she was like, I met you at the Dunkin' Donuts a couple years ago when you were doing a review. And I was like, oh my God, I totally forgot about this. And I remembered immediately. Because she's somebody that watches like my review videos and stuff like that. And she was so sweet. And I met her when I was doing a review at Dunkin' Donuts a couple years ago. She was so sweet. She gave me a big hug. And she came up to us when she was leaving and stuff like that and said hi to us. And was really friendly to Alex and everything like that. So I want to give a big shout out to Amber. So you were so nice and so friendly to us. I know my neighbor's pulling in across the street. They're probably going to want to talk to me too. I love my neighborhood so much. That's a Christmas gift that keeps on giving, right? By the way, if you didn't know, I have on my phone the countdown to, oh, what am I calling? I'm calling my husband. Why did I do that? I have the countdown to the pool opening. We got 160 days right here. That 160 days, 8 hours, 21 minutes. I gotta text my husband now, butt dial, because he's calling me back. Butt dial. I don't even know what that says because I don't have my reading glasses on. But anyway, so then we got home, right? And I was like, okay, I'm going to watch Christmas movies. Like, we're 3 days out. I got to watch Christmas movies, right? By Christmas movies, I mean the Die Hard movies. So, because I had watched the night before Gremlins. I don't really think it's that great of a movie. I got like halfway through it, and I was like, if I don't ever finish this movie, I'm totally fine with that. So, I was going to watch the Die Hard movies. Then I was like, I'm just going to watch one episode of Vanderpump Rules. Oh, no. I laid down for a little bit first. Took me a little nap with my husband and my little sweet dog, Boo Radley. Then, when I got up, I didn't take a very long nap, but when I got up, I was like going to watch Die Hards and all those movies, you know, Die Hard 1, Die Hard 2, and all that. And then I was like, maybe I will just watch one episode of Vanderpump Rules, okay? Tell me why I went to bed at 7:30 this morning, okay? Wanting to watch another episode of Vanderpump Rules. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with that show. So needless to say, I am exhausted today, okay, from the Vanderpump Rules. I'm exhausted. My legs are so exhausted. And I got all these videos to pre-film. So for those of you that haven't heard about this on my vlog, I'm trying to pre-film videos on a couple of my channels for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. For people that, you know, don't have family or don't celebrate Christmas, or people out there that, you know, just don't have anything to do or can't get home this year for Christmas and whatever, people have asked me to film some videos. So I'm trying to do the best I can. I don't know when I'm going to be able to get up, right? So, but I am going to be filming a video over here for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Now, my Christmas Eve video is a huge announcement about a project that I am taking on in 2024. It's kind of something that I've been actually thinking about for a while, and then it kind of morphed into another idea, and then something kind of really strange happened at my home group where I was celebrating my birthday. So I just celebrated 29 years of sobriety. So this next year is my 30th year of sobriety. And so, something happened that was really strange at my home group the other night, and I was like, this is like all aligning. Like, this is supposed to happen, right? And so I talked to my sponsor about it on the way home from the meeting the other night, and talked to her about it and whatever, and then I was talking to my husband about it. I usually, like with ideas, I'm such an ideas person. I come up with ideas like this, okay? I might have 100 ideas and complete one of them, if even that, right? So I was talking to my husband about it, and he was like, I think that's a great idea. And then I was talking to this couple last night, and they were like, oh, you know, I love that, whatever, right? And so Alex was like, I think it would be really good for you to have a new project that you get excited about. He's like, you love YouTube, you love all this kind of stuff, but he's like, you're very passionate about YouTube, and you're very passionate about sobriety. He's like, I think this is kind of bringing those two together a little bit. So I'm going to announce it on Christmas Eve because it has something to do with Christmas Eve sobriety. And I don't know, this may never come to fruition, but I'm very excited about it. So that announcement will be coming out on Christmas Eve, and it has to come out on Christmas Eve because it has a lot to do with Christmas Eve. And then on Christmas Day, I am doing a Christmas rant, because I was like, I want to do something fun and lighthearted on Christmas Day, you know, for people that are just at home or bored or whatever, right? And so I got on Instagram and I asked people, like, what are the things that drive you the craziest on Christmas or about Christmas, right? Okay, when I put Q&As up on my Instagram, I usually get, I mean, quite a few responses, right? Can I just show you? You guys literally look at this, okay? Oh, hold on a second. Literally look at this. I don't know if you can see this. These are all the questions. These are all the, and more, okay? I probably got, I mean, hundreds of people. It was more than any Q&A that I've ever done that people gave me responses about what they hate for Christmas. So that's coming out on Christmas Day. But today, I asked people, I put it on Instagram. It hasn't even been up there that long, so I might do a follow-up video to this. But I wanted to do something lighthearted today and stuff like that. I was like, I want to just do something kind of fun and lighthearted over here today, which, by the way, I'm sure that people will be asking me the deep-hitting questions, and then this won't be lighthearted, and probably 20 minutes from now I'll be like, oh my god! Because that's what always happens. But I put up, ask me anything for a video, drama, life, anything. And I got a ton of responses to this, and it's only been up, how long has it been up? It's only been up 8 hours. And so I thought that I would just, like, respond to some of these over here today. So, are you ready? Let's get into this. You ready, Janet Jackson? Yo, Janet, I'm about to get this. You want this, but do you really think that you can get this? At first you dissed us, now you want to kiss this. Tell them, girls! Too late, you missed this. You know, you guys, the test for drama class today is, okay? Do you know all the words to MC Light's rap in You Want This by Janet Jackson? And also, do you know the words, all of the words, okay, to It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. By the way, yesterday in my video, I said something to the effect of, I have heard this song so many times, and I didn't say what I wanted to say, which was my favorite is the MTV Unplugged live version by REM of It's the End of the World as We Know It, and Michael Stipe's got his pants pulled up over his knees, and he's like, fine, 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 at the end of it. Oh my god, I love that version so much! Okay. So let's get into some of these questions. Okay, you know, my friend Nikki, it's Nikki and Mel's fault that I'm watching Vanderpump Rules to begin with. Now Nikki, she wants to get cute with some questions here, okay? So Nikki, oh Nikki, you're so fun. You're so fun, you blow my mind, hey Nikki. Hey Nikki. Okay, so Nikki said to me, by the way, I do want to give a shout out to Nikki and Mel because they have been such good Judies this year, and I just appreciate their friendship so much. Okay, so Nikki said, if you had to pick Hey Dudes or Crocs. Okay, because listen, Linda, I have come for Hey Dudes. I will continue to come for Hey Dudes. I think Hey Dudes are ugly, okay? And people get real offended by it. I either get comments where people are real offended by it, which I think is so funny that you get offended by my comments about a shoe. But then there are people that kind of like laugh it off, and they're like, Peter, I love my Hey Dudes. How dare you come for my Hey Dudes, which I think is really cute. My friend Tanya Jean, I mean, she literally has like, I always exaggerate in videos how many she has, but I don't know. I mean, I think she has at least 10 or something like that. She has them in all different colors, okay? And she loves her Hey Dudes so much. She's like, they are the most comfortable shoes in the entire world. I don't care if you don't like them, but they are truly Indiana. They really are, okay? Now, y'all know I love the Below Deck. On Below Deck Mediterranean, I don't know about the other seasons, but on Below Deck Mediterranean, they all wear Crocs. So if it were for me, okay, and I've never worn Hey Dudes, but I wouldn't wear Hey Dudes because I think they're ugly, okay? I said something in my video the other day about Amy Slayton, and I said that Amy Slayton, if you want to know what a good pair of Hey Dudes are, she wears them in every episode of that show, and she messaged me, and she goes, I got a pair of Nikes, and she sent me a picture of her Nikes. I was like, Amy Slayton, I love you so much. Anyway, so if I had to pick, I'd pick Crocs, okay? You know, and I don't know what color I'd get. All the kids want white Crocs. Can somebody explain that to me? All the kids want, we were like, I was shopping with my cousin and she was trying to buy something that like, for somebody's kid. And she's like, I want to get Crocs, but I don't know what color. I go, girl, white. She's like, why white? I go, all the kids are obsessed with white Crocs. I guess it's now black, like they want white and black Crocs, right? And then somebody said to me, at some store, they said that's because the things show up on them that you put in there. I'm like, no, my nephews, they both wanted white and black Crocs, especially white ones. And they're not putting none of them things in there. They wear them with the real high, you know, Nike socks and basketball shorts, and then they wear the white Crocs. That's what they do. They're obsessed with them. Like black socks, the black, you know, sports socks with, the white Crocs. That's what the kids are into these days, right? So anyway, what is something you regret giving away, throwing out? Well, interesting that you should mention that, because I thought it was somewhere in my basement, but I've been working on cleaning out my basement. So when I was in my youth, I had like 2 or 3 pairs of Doc Martens, okay? Now, 2 of them I think I just got rid of, or I, you know, gave to donation when I moved somewhere. One of them, I had a friend of mine that was a performer here in Indianapolis, and she did this drag talent in a pageant to that Delight song. I can't remember what it was. And so she had all these people dressed up like different eras, like hippies and disco people and stuff like that. And so I had this long suede vest that had fringe that went about 3 feet down. I regret giving that to the person that I gave it to, who I'm still friends with today, because I never got it back and he doesn't know where it's at. And I loaned him this pair of oxblood Doc Martens, and I never got those back either. So I wish I'd never loaned them out, right? And I also, years and years ago, this was before I got sober, I went with my friend. Her sister was working in London at the time. Their dad is from Scotland, and she was living and working in London. This is back in the day when animation was different, and she painted cells for animation, and so she was working on a movie in London. So we went to go visit her after Christmas, and I bought, in Camden Lock, I bought this hoodie. And it was like, it looked like a quilted hoodie, but it was like red, and it looked like literally like a quilt. And it was the coolest thing ever. I've never seen anything like it, and I don't know where it is. I must have thrown it away. So those are the things I regret getting rid of. Are you two still thinking about buying another place? We are, and I talked about this on my vlog. We have kind of a 5-year plan of getting our condo done exactly how we want it to be done, and then also, like in the 5th year, looking at putting down, you know, some money to buy a place. We're kind of looking at several different places right now, and so we're kind of up in the air about where we want that to be. Okay, best relationship advice you were ever given. Best relationship advice I was ever given was by an older gentleman that I was friends with. He passed away several years ago, and he was at our wedding. And the night before our wedding, I said to him, he had been married like 55 years, and I said, what's the secret to a happy marriage? And he looked at me and he said, oh God, it's the best advice, and I can't even remember how he said it, right? He said that divorce is not an option. And I go, what do you mean? Divorce is always an option. He goes, I know that. He goes, I understand that divorce is not an option, or is an option. He goes, but you have to go into your marriage as if divorce is not an option, and that you can work through things. And he goes, unless, you know, really harmful situations, abusive situations come up, he goes, you have to be able to be willing to work through things, because couples give up too easily these days. He goes, you have to go into a relationship realizing there's going to be tough times, and in those tough times, looking at it like divorce is not an option. I share this a lot. My husband and I have been in marriage counseling for years. Today we just kind of use it, you know, as like coaching to continue to help us like make our marriage the best it possibly can. But there was a time that we entered marriage counseling that we were headed towards divorce. I thought we were going to get divorced. I mean, I thought it was inevitable. And the fact that we're here today and our marriage is where it's at is absolutely incredible to me. and we have done such hard work on it. I think in my youth, I had this idea of fairy tale romances that relationships just kind of happened. And if you were in love and it was real love, then it was just going to happen naturally and it was going to be easy. Relationships are not easy. Relationships are a lot of work. Friendships, work relationships, romantic relationships, family relationships especially, are a lot of work. And you have to be willing to do that, you know? And so I think in the last couple years we've looked at our marriage in the same way that he suggested, which is divorce is not an option, you know? So that's probably the best. Nick Snyder's new video in the viewer's voice, thanks for reading. I actually just watched the first 10 minutes of the video, and then I texted him and I said I did not consent for my clip to be used. Ha 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 ha. Well, I know that people are probably going to ask me my reaction to the video, and my part in that whole story, if I have a part in all of that, which I do, to some degree. And so I have not watched the video yet. It's 2 hours long. I'm probably going to watch it later. I'm trying to get some stuff done. I texted him, I said, you of course had to post this video on a day that I have to make 14 videos. So, because I'm trying to pre-film all these videos, right? But I will watch the video and I will respond to it if I feel the need to clarify anything, or if people are interested in just my side of what I saw go down. I'm not a big part of it, I'll be honest with you. I'm just not. You know, I'm only a part of it as far as phone calls are concerned and things like that. But I don't know to what extent, you know, I'm discussing the video or things like that. He mentioned, you know, me and Rich Lux at the beginning of the video, but other than that, I don't know if there's a need for me to come out and say something. I will say that something came out interesting in the first 10 minutes of his video that was very interesting to me, that I wasn't aware of, that I'm looking into. So I will just say that. So if you guys you want me to do that video, I won't be doing that video in the next couple days. It will be coming after Christmas. So somebody said, if you had a pet parrot, what would you teach it to say? Get fucked. Wouldn't that be so funny if you had a pet parrot and it was living in your house, and every time somebody came in the door, they go, get fucked! Somebody said, I think in Coleen's mind, she thinks she's a... Okay, wait. Somebody said, why do you think Coleen... Because it's two different messages. Why do you think Coleen won't apologize to the victims? And then it says, I think in Coleen's mind, she thinks she's the victim. Oh, 100% I think she is. I think when you're talking about somebody that... And I'm not going to get in videos and diagnose these people. I'm just not going to do that, right? But when you have the mindset, you can read between the lines of what I think about that, right? But when you have the mindset of Coleen Ballinger, okay, and you have the ability to make other people feel like they're going crazy, okay, by your lack of ability of doing things or what you did in the past, that you make the victim feel like they're crazy, okay, for coming out and talking about it or whatever, and you just continue to go on. I want to make this very, very clear before people come over here and go, Coleen cannot speak about this because of legality and whatever, okay? If Coleen Ballinger, and I have talked to attorneys about this, if Coleen Ballinger got in a video and she said in a video, I apologize to Oliver for what happened with my brother. I apologize to Adam McIntyre. I apologize to Becky, okay? I take accountability. She wouldn't have to say for what, but just to mention their names in a video would acknowledge that she was apologizing to them. There would be no legality of that whatsoever, okay? Not to mention that even though the evidence is out there, that would be a very, very difficult court case. I think the victims are aware of that, right? Coleen Ballinger, who hired this very expensive attorney that I don't believe she's working with anymore, she's very aware of that too, okay? That, I mean, that was his expertise in situations like that. That it would be really, really hard for them to pursue this and things like that and whatever, right? So there's no legality involved in it from Coleen Ballinger. Coleen Ballinger would not be back on YouTube if she were that worried about legality. Trust, she wouldn't, okay? And so she's not worried about it. Coleen Ballinger is not coming out and speaking to it because she doesn't want to give any merit to it, number one. Number two is, if she speaks to it, she knows that that's going to hype things up. Now, what I said in a previous video was that her views are starting to go down, okay? And people are starting, when they came back, they were watching, well, her super fans are watching for Coleen, right? But I don't think there's really that many super fans left. And then, I mean, compared to what she used to have. And then, you know, she came back, and there were a lot of people that were watching to see if she was going to address it or say something, and she hasn't. She's hinted at it here. We're talking about if she ever went on tour again. She hinted about it there, blah, 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 whatever. She hasn't really come out and addressed it, okay? So the thing is that as reviews continue to die, Coleen Ballinger has proven that she cares about money and clout, okay? And so, and power and fame. Those are very, very important to her. And so, I think that she will do something at the beginning of the new year to hint to the allegations, not taking responsibility, but even almost kind of like, I think she'll do the opposite of that. Kind of like, she'll play the victim role to get people talking about Coleen thinks she's a victim, to get everybody stirred up again, to get people back watching her videos again. She'll do this every couple months, continue to stir up the views, okay? She'll put something in a video that is so problematic, but it isn't taking accountability, it isn't saying anybody's name. It's just stirring people up so that people start watching her videos again to see if she's going to say something. I think that's what she'll continue to do. And if she does, then what she's doing is she's further using the victims and what they went through in their traumatic experiences for money, fame, clicks, and views. And that is really disgusting to me, okay? So, somebody said, can you explain your profile picture? You know what? I don't even know where that idea came from. It's literally a blue robe that Alex got me years ago. It's like this Ralph Lauren plaid robe. And I was in the bathroom. I had done my hair and stuff like that. And it was like, we used to have these little like yellow rubber ducks in the bathroom. We don't have them anymore. And so I just put one on my shoulder and like took a picture. And that's what the profile picture is. Which, by the way, a lot of people ask me like in my intro, you know, when I say I'm YouTube famous now, they're like, where did that come from? Okay, so the intro that you hear now has kind of morphed over time. If you watch from the very beginning, that's not the intro that happened at the very beginning. It's kind of morphed over time, right? I've said this in previous videos, but I'll say it again. One of my favorite movies ever, okay, ever, is The Color Purple. I cannot wait until Christmas Day when the musical with Fantasia comes out. I'm like so excited. I have heard rave reviews about this movie. I cannot wait, right? But I loved the original with, you know, Whoopi Goldberg and Oprah Winfrey, and it just was unbelievable, right? And so in the movie, there's a part where Suge Avery gets married, and her father is a pastor, and she's walking down the street, and she passes him, and she holds up her ring, and she says, I'm married now. And so that was kind of where that came from, because I love that part in the movie, to me, because it's her seeking redemption. And I think I had just watched that movie like the night before, again, when I came out, and I said, I'm YouTube famous now, and it was kind of like off of that. I love the movie The Color Purple so much. And in fact, one of my greatest lessons I've ever learned from somebody else was from The Color Purple, and it was from Oprah, and it's one of her aha moments. Oprah wanted to be in The Color Purple when she heard it was coming out in any way, shape, or form. She said she didn't care if she was a script person, she didn't care if she was bringing water to people, she just wanted to be in the movie somehow, and she auditioned for it. She auditioned for the part of Miss Sophia. So she kept on calling her agent, and asking for updates. And her agent finally said to her, Oprah, there are real actresses that are auditioning for this role, like Loretta Devine and things like that. And he said to her, she said to her, you know, you are not the end all of actresses. Like, you are not promised this role. So Oprah went to a weight loss camp. She shares this in her video. It's probably on YouTube somewhere. If you look up Oprah and Surrender, because it's on her aha moments. She goes to this weight loss camp, and she is walking on a treadmill, and she starts speaking to God, and she says, okay, God, this is obviously not what, I mean, she would like go around and hand out these books to people because she loved The Color Purple so much. So she was walking on this treadmill, and she was like, okay, God, obviously this is not what you have for me. This is not what you want for me, right? Like, this is the learning experience of surrender for me. And she was like, obviously you have a different path for me, and whatever that is, I surrender to it, you know? And she started singing the gospel song, which is one of my favorite gospel songs of life, that, I surrender all. I love gospel music, by the way, for those of you that don't know. My friend Tawny Jean said that in our video that we did together, the Best Friends video. She was something that only you would know that nobody else knows, and she was like, Peter loves gospel music. I do. I like, just volume 100, you know? I love it so much. Well, her assistant came in and said, Steven Spielberg is on the phone for you. So she took the call, and Steven Spielberg said to her, I hear that you're at a weight loss camp. If you lose 1 pound, the part is not yours. And it was only after she surrendered that things turned around for her. And I'm such a believer in surrendering and letting go and letting God, as we say in recovery. And it's the whole idea of letting go of things and surrendering it to the universe or the higher power. If you're not a spiritual person, that's fine. But just letting go of things and realizing you don't really have as much control over things as you think you have, you know? And that's been a hard lesson for me to learn in this world, you know? But a really powerful and important lesson. This is going to stop in just a second, so hold on. Okay. I thought I'd get more drama questions. Oh my God. Somebody said how to heal the wreckage of your past. That's a good Peterisms video, probably. Favorite part of Christmas? Christmas Eve. I just feel like Christmas Eve is really, really magical. It's very spiritual to me. Somebody asked me if I'd seen the movie A Good Person. Must-see movie. Great, great movie. I have. We just watched it the other night, actually. It was a really difficult movie for me to watch, and that's all I'll say about it. It was a fantastic movie, but it was a really difficult movie for me to watch. Best Christmas memory ever. Okay, I was sick one year when I was really little. I think my parents had gotten separated or something, and I just was not having a great Christmas. I think it was my first year my parents were, like, separated. And my dad, I know now, but I didn't know it then, had won a visit from Santa in this, like, auction thing that he had done, right? It was like some, you know, event or something he had gone to, and he bid on this. And so I'm sick, and I'm, like, in the living room, and I'm watching Christmas movies, and it's, like, the 22nd of December. It's, like, today, right? And all of a sudden, there's, like, a knock at the door, and my mom and I are sitting there, right? And Santa Claus shows up at the front door, and I'm sick. Like, I'm in my pajamas on the couch, and we're watching a Christmas movie with the fireplace burning and stuff like that, and Santa comes in, and Santa literally spent like a half an hour with me, and just, like, sat down, and, like, really, you know, and at this point also, I don't think it was just about Santa Claus. I think it was that I didn't have, like, a lot of friends, very few, actually, if any, you know, at times, and I was bullied horribly at school, and that was just, like, the beginning of the bullying, would have been around that time, right? And things were really, really tough for me. And I just didn't really have a lot of people that believed in me. And so to have Santa Claus sitting on a couch next to me, believing in me, was, like, super, super powerful, and I'll always remember that. So there's kind of a funny part to that, but I've talked about that on my vlog. What are your favorite type of cookies? Peanut butter. Second, snickerdoodles, I think. My sister asked me, something about Trisha as, what do I think of Trisha as a mom or Shane as a dad? I need to know your opinion. Well, you know, like, okay, this is the thing, right? Like, it's not a popular opinion, right? To sit here and say, I hope they do the best. I mean, people want to sit there and say, like, Shane, like, the CPS needs to be called. I mean, I've seen the comments. The comments are horrific on Shane's Instagram, right? And people say this stuff about Trisha and whatever. For me, okay, it goes past being a public figure to the fact that there are children that are involved, okay? There are children that are involved in this situation. So when you are wishing all of this, no matter what they put out there in the world, no matter if Shane Dawson deserves to have those comments or not, and I'm not saying that he does or he doesn't, no matter whether or not Trisha deserves to have those comments or not, right? I don't really, to be honest with you, think much about Trisha Paytas as a mother or Shane Dawson as a father. What I think about is the future of those children. And I would never wish any ill will on a child. So for that reason, I hope Trisha Paytas is the best mother in the entire world, and I hope that Shane Dawson and Rylan Adams are the best fathers in the entire world. For those children, I wish that. And I don't really know why anybody else would, you know? I just, you know, there's going to be conversations that they're going to have with their kids down the road when their kids are old enough to be able to, like, look on social media and see the things that they've done and whatever. Those are going to be conversations that they're going to have with their kids, you know? I don't get off on getting on people's social media and underneath their pictures of their newborns putting things like the FBI should be called, okay? So that their kids can go back someday when they see, oh, this is the picture that my dad's posted of me being born, and then they go back and they look, and there's people literally underneath there commenting on, you know, this person needs to be called, and these kids need to be taken away, and blah, 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 whatever. Like, that goes above and beyond, that goes above and beyond what your opinion is of a public figure or what you think about that. That goes towards cruelty of a child, you know? And I just think, like, kids are off limits when it comes to that stuff, you know? And I just wish the best for those kids. So for that reason, why would we not want Shane and Ryland and Trisha and Moses to be the best parents ever? Like, seriously, I don't understand that, right? You know? I don't understand that. I really, in my core, I don't understand why people would wish for them not to be good parents, okay? It makes no sense to me. Out of respect for those kids and the life of those kids. These kids could go on to be anything in the entire world, you know? I mean, in all honesty, you know? They could be hosts at Walmart. They could be YouTubers. They could, you know, cure cancer. We don't know, right? So why would we wish all of this on these kids? Like, I mean, come on, you guys. Like, there's... You know, what's the saying that Swoop says? You know, it's not drama, it's serious, or whatever she says. I mean, there's a point when it's like, it goes past drama, you know? It goes to a point of cruelty. And the kids are the ones that are ultimately going to suffer because they're the ones that are going to have to look back on that, you know? So, I don't know about you, but I didn't pick my parents before I came into this world, you know? And I'm not... So, I don't know why we would wish anything different on those people. And that's probably not a positive, you know, opinion, but it is what it is. I was wondering if you had any advice. Any advice on what? Oh, the question is, have you ever dealt with death during the holidays? Tomorrow is my grandma's death anniversary. Oh, I'm so sorry, sweetheart. And then she said, I was wondering if you had any advice. I'm actually going to do a Peterisms video about that because I got a specific question about that on my Peterisms channel. But I will say this. You know, my mom passed in May. And that following November, when we went to my cousin's house, I think it was November. Was it Thanksgiving or Christmas? I can't honestly remember now because it was so long ago. But that year, so when my mom passed away, I gave her car to my cousin's stepson. And so he was there and it was parked in front. And I lost it when we showed up to my cousin Caroline's house because it looked like my mom was there. And that was like the first time it really hit me. You know, I think one of the things that helps me get through holidays today, my cousin and I always have a moment during the holidays, like, you know, where we'll sit down, just the two of us, and we kind of talk about my mom and her mom and dad, and just like memories from the past, and our grandma and stuff like that, and we cry a little bit, and then we let it go, you know? Because I know inside that my mom would really want me to, she would want me to, of course, to miss her, right? Like, I've said that in videos before, like what she said to me before she passed and stuff, but like, I think at this point, she would also want me to be, like, live, you know, my life and enjoy my life, you know, and all of that. And so, and I deserve that, and you deserve that, too, you know? I think also, you know, like, my mom was so suffering at the end that I wouldn't want her, I think sometimes grief can be, this is just personally how I feel about it. I sometimes think that grief can be selfish, that we want those people or those pets to be here, even at the expense of them still suffering because we miss them so greatly, right? Well, I wouldn't want my mom to still be here if she was suffering that greatly. You know, my aunt was really suffering at the end. You know, I wouldn't want her to be suffering, you know, on an oxygen tank, hardly able to breathe and things like that. I wouldn't want that for these people in my life, you know? So I have to remember that and kind of stay rooted in reality. And that's kind of how I get through some of that stuff. Okay, let's see. Do you like Jeff Lewis or listen to his show or radio show? I only listen to it when I'm in the car with my husband and he's listening to it because he listens to his podcast. It's okay. I don't know. I thought that he was really cruel about what he said about Monica at BravoCon when he said, why is she even on the show? Because she's not rich or something like that. I thought that was really cruel, especially when, listen, when you watch Monica on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, what you see is what you get, okay? And that's just the real deal with Monica. You might not like her, okay? She might not be the most likable person, but she, I think, is one of the most relatable people on the show. And I think it's smart that they have somebody that's not super, super wealthy. The housewives are always super wealthy. So for Jeff Lewis to say that, it's in bad taste for me, you know? Like, and let's just be for real. Who's watching the Real Housewives of any franchise, okay? Not the rich and famous. The majority of us out there, Jeff Lewis, are not rich and famous. Let's just be for real, right? Mary F. K, Jeffree Star, James Charles, Shane Dawson, go. Best question ever, this person said. Well, I do not believe in violence, so there's that. And I'm married, so I wouldn't F any of them people, and I'm not attracted to any of those people. And I wouldn't marry any of those people. None of them. Okay, I don't think any of those people are quality people that I would want to be married to, that I would want to F, and that I would want to even I wouldn't be, and I know that that's not fair, but listen, this question, I mean, seriously, I mean, you're going to give me 3 of the biggest boring turds and the worst people on the face of the earth, and you're going to ask me if I'm, no, Ignore, ignore, ignore. But yes, it was a good question. Okay. Will you always have a dog in your home? So, I share this a lot. You know, Boo Radley is getting older. I hope that Boo Radley lives to be about 49, but, you know, I know that that's not realistic. He's got really bad arthritis, and when we pick him up, we can kind of like, you know, he's on all kinds of medicine, stuff like that. You know, he has days where he's like dashing around the yard, you know, and then he has other days where he sleeps all day long. And it's just, it's hard having a senior dog. I just did a video about this not too long ago on my Peter Does Stuff channel. And, you know, but I was talking to somebody the other day, and their dog's 15, and they're, you know, Boo Radley's 14, and their dog's still doing great at 15, you know. My cousin's dog is 15, one of her dogs. And so, and it's slowing down a little bit, but doing okay, you know. So I just try to take it day by day and really enjoy every single day. That's what I learned when PP got sick, our Chihuahua. I always want to have a dog. Alex has really grieved hard and still does to this day. I mean, we both do, but like, he doesn't know if it's worth going through the emotional pain to have a dog or a pet that you know is eventually going to pass. I personally believe that, and we've had many conversations about this, I personally believe that it's completely worth it, because the unconditional love in the relationship that you get with a pet is probably one of the greatest things. Whatever that's, a cat, a ferret, a dog, whatever, you have a fish. I've had goldfish, I don't know, or I've had fish. I've had clownfish and goldfish and koi fish and all that kind of stuff. I don't know that my relationship with them, but I did have a really strong relationship with this goldfish named Johnny. I didn't realize until after Johnny finally passed away that my ex had bought about 10 different Johnnies. I didn't know that. I've told that story on a couple different channels, but anyway, but I think that it's just one of the greatest relationships I've ever had in my entire life was with my pets, you know? And I will always have some kind of pet. I will always have, well, not some kind of pet, I will always have a dog. Alex and I recently, he has said, you can get the dog, you can pick the dog out, you can get, it will be a rescue dog, whatever I get. I want to get something very similar to what Boo and Tucker were, or maybe a Chihuahua. It'll be something like that. It'll be a rescue dog, and you can get whatever you want to get. It will not be until Boo Radley is no longer here anymore, because Boo Radley, I do not want his last years to be compromised and be confused by why we're bringing a new dog into the house. I just want to give him all the love and attention we possibly can, and this dog gets a lot of love and attention. So, and when he's no longer here, I will be thinking about that, but it will be a rescue dog, and it will be, I will be the one picking it out, and I'll be the one naming it, and things like that. Alex said, I will love this dog. It will be part of our family. I will help with the dog and things like that. It just won't be my dog. I don't know where in his mind he can separate that that's not his dog, but he does somehow, you know? And he has said, you know, if over time I fall in love with that dog and it becomes my dog, you know, then I'll change my mind. He is my husband. There are a couple things that my husband really struggles with emotionally, and one of them is my aunt's passing. Like, he almost can't even talk about my Aunt Kathy because he was so close with her and loved her so much. And the other one is PP and Tucker. Like, I mean, he just, it's really, really hard for him. And there's a couple other things that are really, really hard for him to even talk about. And so, you know, I understand where he's at, and I respect that. And I think that's another thing with marriage, right? Is that you respect the other person's point of view, you don't try to change it, you know? And so I will always have a dog. And I think that he'll end up loving the dog. You know, my cousin Caroline's like, every dog we have, I got. Every dog that we have is mine. And then Mike ends up falling in love with him and taking care of him. She goes, the same thing is going to happen with Alex. So, we'll see. Do you do your gratitude list at the same time every day? This is one of my New Year's resolutions. I do not. I do a gratitude list, like a small one in the morning. I do like a mental or an oral one. I need to start my gratitude list, my book. I keep on saying I'm going to do it. I was going to do it the first day of November. I haven't started it yet. I bought it like in August. I still haven't done it yet. And with all the markers and the pens and all that kind of stuff. That's total complacency and laziness. And then, and then at night, I do my prayers, my meditations, I do a 10-step inventory, which is a recovery thing, and then I do a gratitude list. And so I do it at night, but it's not the same time every night, no. But it's kind of my nightly routine. Sleep with the socks on or off. There are no socks on. There's not a lot on. Let's just put it that way. Do I believe in Bigfoot? You know, interestingly enough, Bigfoot's like one of the only things I don't really believe in. I believe in like Loch Ness Monster. I believe in so many things. Definitely aliens. But I don't know that I believe in Bigfoot. I don't know why. I don't believe in that. And I got so many people commenting on me. I read the book. I watched the TV show, the first season of it, of that ranch out there. I don't believe anything paranormal happens at that ranch ever. And people are like, Peter, I live by that ranch. Stuff happens all the time. Okay, well, I haven't witnessed it. And I saw a whole TV show where they had ghost hunters and all kinds of things. What are your resolutions for 2024? Okay, so I used to do resolutions. I don't do resolutions anymore. I do goals for the following year. I used to make like 400 of them, and I don't. I try to keep the list less than 10. So I'm going to do goals for 2024. I usually do them around my sobriety birth date or on my sobriety birth date. And I've been working on them a little bit because I want to make them very, very focused this next year. Definitely my weight is one of them, of getting to the point where my doctors want me to be, or lower than that. Being active, eating healthy, that's a huge one. Not a diet, but being active and being healthy and eating healthier and things like that. Yeah, I have a couple goals on there. So, downside of working remote on YouTube. Well, first of all, I love this. I love that I get to call this, you know, my job, and that I get to get up every single day and figure out what videos I'm going to make and all that kind of stuff. The downside is I don't really interact with people all day long, except for my neighbors. You know, my husband's gone for 8 to 12 hours a day working, and then when he comes home, he's so exhausted. So I don't really interact with people all day long, you know, and that's the only downside I would say of it. Other than that, I have a very blessed job. People keep on asking me if Raw Beauty Christie's Instagram is gone. I do not believe that it is. Hold on a second. Let me get out of here. I think she's just blocking people that are asking her questions. No, her Instagram was right here. She's not gone. But people keep on asking me that. I've got that quite a few times in DMs asking me if Raw Beauty Christie's Instagram is gone. So I don't know. Are you asking her things and she's blocking you? I have no clue. Let me go down here to some of these other questions. Hold on a second. Okay, let's see if there's any drama ones. No question, just want to say thank you for making your videos. Your videos help me so, oh, you're so sweet. Just a hello, I'm in Indy too, and I love your channel. Oh, hey. If you weren't a YouTuber, what job do you think you'd be doing? I think I would work in a, there's my neighbor across the street with the cookies. You know what she said to me earlier today? She said this on video the other day too. She goes, oh, are you dressing up as the Virgin Mary for Christmas? She thinks this is her joke for the year. She thinks it's so funny. I think that I would either work in a snow shack, like, you know, where they sell the snow cone things, or I think I would start a Christmas tree farm. No, I don't know what I would do. I have no idea. I really don't. I have no clue what I would do. Favorite meal at the Christmas dinner table. Okay, my favorite thing right now, and I told my cousin I demanded that she have them this year, are these mushrooms that she makes every year. And she's like, Peter, they're literally, it's in like melted butter in the crock pot and like a package of that ranch dressing, and that's it. And it's like these mushrooms. I'm obsessed with them. There's not a lot at like Christmas dinner and Thanksgiving that I can eat. I can eat like the mac and cheese. I can eat like the mashed potatoes. So Caroline they don't make them with, what do you call it? Like chicken broth and things like that. But other than that, like there's not a lot that I can eat. And so yeah. Okay. I wanted to see if anybody asked me any drama questions. Nobody really did. Oh, you know what? Actually, somebody asked me this at the very beginning. They said, why do you think there's no drama going on right now? Or something like that. Where is it at? Why is drama so dead right now? This is somebody said. This is from Mariah. You know, Mariah, it's interesting that you say that. I'm not really sure that I believe that drama is so dead. Like, I realize that people aren't really watching a lot of my videos and stuff, but the videos that I am posting now and the things that I'm talking about are things that literally 5 years ago would have got a ton of views on, you know? So it is interesting to me. I am not really sure that drama is so dead, or that it's that people are just, like, I'm talking about, like, that there's not drama occurring, or serious stories, or serious things to talk about. I think it's almost the fact that people are so saturated and not really surprised anymore by the behavior of influencers, that they've just kind of given up and they don't really care anymore about reading these stories. Like if something happened today, like I'm just gonna make this up, like if Judy Smith was an influencer, right? And Judy Smith had been like married for 20 years and got filed for divorce today, and I made that video and I put Judy Smith TikToker files for divorce, that video would get a lot of views, okay? Because it happened today and that was a very current video. But people like talking about James Charles or even Trisha Paytas or Jeffree Star. People are bored of hearing about those people, and then that's people like will say, well, stop talking about the same 5 people, talk about other people. And then I talk about other people and I get a lot of backlash. Don't you dare talk about those people. So I'm just going to talk about what I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about who I want to talk about, and if I get 5,000 views, if I get 40,000 views, I get what I get, But at least I'm doing something that I love. But that's what I think right now. I think people are just saturated, and stuff like that. They're just kind of like, I don't think anybody is surprised by James Charles. I think the majority of people really truly do believe that he's a predator. And I think that they just don't care at this time because they feel like it's beating a dead horse and they've heard so much about it. I think that people truly do believe that Coleen Ballinger did things that were really, really bad. And I think that they just don't care anymore. I don't think most of them watch her, but I think that they just don't care anymore because it's like, okay, well, we've heard about this for 6 months now, right? Like, our attention span in social media is like, we want the newest story. We want the newest story. We want the newest story, right? And, when I started here on YouTube talking about drama commentary and it was about a palette release or a meet and greet or something like that, right? Or game night with all the influencers, those would get a lot of views because people were really interested in those people. But now we're talking about really dark stories. Well, it's hard to talk about it for a long period of time as a YouTuber, not alone, just to watch it, People come home to be entertained. They don't want to watch all that stuff over and over and over again, But I do think it's important to talk about, so that's why I continue to talk about it. I'm going to go way down here to the last questions, or the first questions I got. Okay. Let's see. Anybody ask me any? I'm good. Somebody asked me, how are you, Peter? I'm good. Somebody said, why does nobody talk about Jake Paul, the accusation? Was some time ago, but even then it died quick. I know nothing about that, but I can look into it. I know nothing about that. Follow-up question, how do you get over bigger fights with Alex? Alex and I don't really fight, like, on that level anymore. We did back in the day. Oh, my God. Screaming, shouting matches. But we don't really... Well, I wouldn't say screaming, shouting. I mean, it never got physical, but... thank God it never got physical. But... yeah, we screamed at each other. I mean, it got heated. We don't really take it to that place anymore because we've learned different communication skills. And different words to use. Like, this is really important, too. Like, I was constantly, like, wanting this or wanting that, or he was wanting this or wanting that. And, like, we're very clear on what we need now. Like, saying, like, my feelings are hurt. Could you please take responsibility for this? And then he'll be like, yeah, I take responsibility. Or he'll say, like, it just would have meant a lot to me if you had done this. Like, it ends very quickly for us because we want our relationship to be good. We don't glaze over things, but we are willing to have those conversations. I think the bigger fights happened because we would glaze over things and then it would just be like, I've said this for years and years and years. It's like we would have a fight and then the fight would start having us, right? It was like, it would be about like, where do you want to go to dinner? I don't care. You don't care, blah, blah, blah. Then we'd fight over that. Then it'd be, you didn't take the trash out. You don't respect me. You don't care about me. You don't love me. Why are we even together? I mean, that was over a course of 3 days, right? And it would just all build up and then everything from the last, several years would come out. It was just ugly. It just was ugly. It's not worth it, Current book reads. Right now, my current book read that I cannot finish is Cozy Mystery, Stalking Around the Christmas Tree by Jacqueline Frost, and it's a Christmas cozy mystery series that I love so much. Okay, let's just get a couple more questions. Oh my God, somebody said list of great true crime documentaries. I don't, that's a whole video of its own, but did you know that the Natalia Grace story, her side of it is coming out? Oh my God, I cannot wait to see that. That story is crazy and takes place in Indiana. What is one big drama story you think will break in 2024? I think 2 things are going to happen, okay? I think Coleen Ballinger, I think it's going to be to do with Coleen Ballinger and James Charles. I think that Coleen Ballinger will push the envelope to get views on her channel The reason why she's responding to questions about touring and things like that is because she knows that's going to get her a lot of attention. She's going to cross the line at some point and say something she can't come back from, and it's going to be huge drama, okay? And then we're going to see the victimization of Coleen Ballinger. We're going to see her getting on videos and crying, and why are people treating me this way, and blah, 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 whatever. We're going to literally, I think, see the meltdown of Coleen Ballinger in real time happen. I think that's the first thing that's going to happen. And then she's going to be so forced to take responsibility. I think more of her friends will come out and they will say things when that happens. I think there will be something else that comes out with Coleen Ballinger, whether it's another victim that comes out and shares that's been very silent or something. Something will happen with Coleen Ballinger, and this will happen at the beginning of the year, okay? I think, I've always said I think there's another victim out there that hasn't spoken out yet because of their love for Coleen Ballinger. I think she'll say something in one of her vlogs that pisses off a super fan, okay? And then they'll come out and they'll share their story. And I think that she knows that that person's out there and she's terrified of them coming out and speaking. And I think that that will happen and it will be the nail in the coffin for Coleen Ballinger. I also think that she's going to try to hype things up because she wants the views on her channel. I think there will also be another scandal with James Charles. And I think what will happen with that is that all of his friends will be pulled into it because all of his friends have been called out for a very long time, okay? And I think when that happens, those friends will start speaking and they will unfollow James Charles like happened several years ago when the Toddy Westbrook video came out. But it'll be different this time because I think, you know, like Ethan Klein said on the H3 podcast on the Streamies, you know, James Charles was just found to be asking somebody for an age check in his DMs. He's 24 going on 25 years old, okay, asking for age checks. So something else is going to happen, okay? It's been like simmering for a while now. Something's going to come out. He hasn't gotten the help he needs. History is going to repeat itself. You know, you're talking about somebody that has a huge ego, that has gotten away with something that feels like they cannot be affected by this, okay? That's very dangerous. Something else is going to happen because he feels like he's untouchable, okay? When that happens, that circle of friends he has around him, when it is really, really bad this time, they're going to go away because they're going to be so worried about their careers. They too will be called out left and right. It's going to be a huge thing. I believe it will be Dramageddon 5, okay? Or whatever we're at now, 17 or whatever when that comes out. I think that will be it. James Charles will be caught in some scandal. Something will come out about it, okay? And it will be all the friends that have been surrounding him. Because with Coleen Ballinger, at least, the majority of these people, it's interesting to me, like Manny and these people have unfollowed Coleen Ballinger and come out and whatever, but they still follow James Charles, you know? And it's like, so you take issue with Coleen Ballinger, which is performative because she's being called out left and right, but you don't take issue with James Charles and what he did when James Charles was literally took responsibility and apologized to his victims, okay? Like when Manny said to me on the phone, if you knew James, you would know he's not like that, okay? James Charles got in a video and said, I apologize to the victims. So Manny, directly to you, victims of what? The victims at the hands of James Charles. James Charles hasn't learned from that. We learned that in the Cosmopolitan article. We learned that in this. I'm about to do a video before the end of the year on my top 10 stories I've covered for 2023 because I kind of want to go back and look. And I already know, you know, a couple of them are going to be about all these things I constantly talk about. It will be interesting to see these people scram for their careers and trust. They're going to get called out left and right because they have been standing by James Charles for views and clout, okay? And that's all these people care about. So it's not going to just affect one career, it's going to affect a lot of careers. And I think that when that happens, other things behind the scenes will come out too about these people that have protected James Charles. It's going to be a huge mess like we've never seen before, and I feel it coming in 2024. I feel spring, summer is what's going to happen. So I think those are the two things that are going to happen in 2024. So anyway, let me know what you think about all of that in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.